how you doing? It is I, Marky B, once again coming at you after dropping off the face of the planet. Oh, let's see here. I hope, let's stop. Let's just, whoa there. Traffic. Hope everybody's doing okay. It has once again been a while since I've had the old camera strapped to the side of my head. The weather has been crap. Today, however, is not, and I am just out and exploring. I know I've said before that I usually like to have a destination in mind when I take a trip, but today, screw that. So, welcome aboard the 2005 Ultra Classic Electric Glide, and right along with, if I can do this without getting killed, that is. Not getting killed is a good thing. Full impulse power, take us out. So you're probably thinking, well, I think you're thinking, oh, whatever. Marky B, where have you been? Well, what has been going on? Well, oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Thank you, Mr. Chris. I got back from a Mother's Day weekend ride a couple of weekends ago. Went to visit my mom. Took the old girl here with me. Well, actually she took me, and about a 660 mile round trip over the course of a couple days to Gastonia, North Carolina and back. Shout out to NC Stony. If I'd been anywhere in the neighborhood, I would have given you a holler, but I know that Gastonia and the High Points area are not exactly next door neighbors. And time, of course, was a factor. Got to spend a couple days with Mom, but it's about a 6.5 hour trip one way. Trip coming back was awesome. Trip going, everything was hunky-dory until I got to Kennesaw on I-75 South, where 6 lanes of traffic decided, stop. Just stop. It was about 9:30 in the morning. I thought, well, surely that, you know, there's rush hour and it's done and traffic should be flowing, and not even a little bit. Traffic was bumper to bumper, 10 miles an hour max, from Kennesaw all the way through Spaghetti Junction at 285, all the way over to I-85 toward Greenville. I friction zoned and duck walked this bitch for, what, 20 miles? It was absolutely grueling. And of course, after that, I was whooped, but I still had 200 miles to go. Needless to say that, you know, I can bend steel with this hand now. But the trip back was awesome. Beautiful weather. camera along because I'm sure the last thing anybody wants to watch is interstate, 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 and more interstate. So I said, nah. I wore my lid anyway. I didn't take this full face. But the real news, at least in my humble opinion, was about a week prior to Mother's Day weekend. It's a lovely Sunday morning. I visit my dad every Sunday. You know, as I've told you, he's a rider too. He bought my 2005 Sporty when I upgraded. I usually go see him 9.5 times out of 10. I see him every Sunday, and usually around noonish, 1 o'clock is when I go over there. It was such a pretty morning. I just decided that, you know, I'm just gonna get out and putter around and, you know, just indulge myself before I go visit Dad. So I did. Wow, awesome. Got the little wavy back from both of them. Pretty road king too. While I was out, I'd swing by Lowe's Home Improvement Center to look at kitchen faucets. I'm not too happy with the kitchen faucet that was in a residence when I purchased Starbase Liberty, and I wanted to explore some options. So I was in there a little while, come out to leave, get on the bike. I compliment you on the bike. That's always you know, stokes you up real good when somebody compliments you on your bike. And I'm going down the lane, you know, I'm not cutting across, I'm not doing anything hooliganiski. What is it, Polish? Hooliganiski. No, Russian. Anyway. And I'm in my lane, about to, you know, maybe 3 to 5 miles an hour. I'm just crawling, looking to make the left turn to get up to the highway out of the parking lot. So I'm about to commit to this turn, and all of a sudden, this badass, red-headed, slack-jawed, mouth-breathing, knuckle-dragging waste of DNA comes around that corner. There's a very sharp corner turn to come off the highway into the Lowe's parking lot. He's flat flying. It's in my lane, and I already had the forks cocked, committed to the turn. So I saw him. I locked eyes with that bastard. He saw me. I locked the brakes, and down I went. This dumbass swerves to miss me. I can see his car past the top of my head. Gear, please. Passes the top of my head, and he leaves. He does not fucking stop. Now, I went over on my left side, on my kickstand side, left side, and when I knew I was going down and I couldn't hold it, I put my left leg out. I took it off the floorboard and put it out, and I stepped off the bike as she went down. So I didn't get hurt at all, thank God. Is that where I wanted to go? I don't know. Oh, I'm not going anywhere. But she didn't just go down on her side guards. She went flat, flipping horizontal, and oil was spewing everywhere. I was cussing. When I got up and turned around, the asshole was already at the other end of the parking lot, screaming back out onto the highway to get away. And there was the guy that actually complimented me on the bike was behind me in his truck, and he jumped out, asked me if I was okay. He said that I just knew that dude was going to have you for a hood ornament, and he helped me pick the bike up. Although I think I was so pumped on adrenaline, I could have picked her up and juggled the thing. But I walked away unscathed, but my girl didn't. You know, comparatively minor damage from where it could have been. Mechanically, she's perfect. Like I said, the next weekend I rode 700 miles and however many miles since. So, you know, she's fine that way. But I dug up my my front fairing, the fiberglass or plastic ABS cap on the front of my left lower fairing, and nicked my saddlebag lid from where she went down. And I'm just about sure I also cracked a fairing support or something. Cause at idle, this baby shakes more than she oughta. But I snapped some pictures. Here they are. So there it is. You know, it's, you know, I've gotten some retrospect, some perspective on it, and you know, it could have definitely been much worse than it was. I could have been going faster. You know, you always think about, well, what if, and what if I had, and you know, but at the time, that was the situation. That's what happened. You know, if you know, my initial thought is if I could have, you know, steered out of that turn, maybe I could have missed him. Maybe I could have, maybe I couldn't have, and I would have been his hood ornament. But she went down. I wasn't hurt, and you know, we'll look at getting her pretty back up after riding season. I don't really want to be without her for you know, the best weather of the year. And you know, they say bad things happen in threes, and I'm kind of waiting for the third shoe to drop, because the second shoe was after I got back from my trip to Gastonia. This girl was filthy, so I said, you know, I'm gonna give her a bath, and this time it's gonna be a really good bath. Ooh yeah, that dirty girl needs a bath. So I said, I'm gonna pull these saddlebags off. I don't have a stand to put these things on. And I thought, well, you know, I know what I'm doing, and you know, I had the, you know, place and a crate set up, and you know, that I could hold it, and they wouldn't touch the ground, and what have you. So I wash the bike, and I get one saddlebag, and then time comes for that last saddlebag, and I'm just lathering her up real good. And you know, you may or may not know this, but a soapy saddlebag is on par with a bar of soap in the shower. That sucker squirted out of my hands and landed lid down in my driveway, and bumped a couple of times just for good measure. So it's thoroughly screwed. There's no way, shape, form. It's I fucked it up big time. Didn't crack it, thank God. It's still weather tight, and everything. But so, and when watching it, I discovered I'm thinking from the accident I've got a chip in my tank. Forgot about that. It's way up front, so you really can't see it. It's a little chip. It doesn't look like it's thing that looks like I don't care about it very much. Oh, and pictured the self-inflicted saddlebag here. I do have a good result from that, though. I have a stepsister whose boyfriend runs a motorcycle shop nearby the house, actually. Chattanooga Cycles and Collision, or Custom Cycles and Collision. I always flake out on the name. But this guy can paint. So I had him look at the damage and, give me the pseudo family price. And he will, I'll take the parts off myself and deliver them to him. But he will do the whole front fairing with pinstriping, both saddlebag lids, and any repair that needs to be done, and paint I've got a replacement, for lack of a better term, nose cone that goes on the front of the lower fairing for $500, and I can't beat that anywhere. I didn't turn it on insurance. I've had people all over me. Well, what did you file a police report? I used to work in retail. I used to manage retail stores, as I've said, and what happens in the parking lot, well, that's private property, and police don't give a rat's ass about it. Yeah, they'll half-ass do a report if you make them, and I wasn't going to turn it on insurance anyway. The dude was gone. I know what he drives. I didn't get a tag number. He was gone that fast. Hey, away from the sport bike. Good to go, good to go. I have no idea where I'm at, by the way. Well, that's the best kind of riding, ain't it? But, so there's that. I've bunged her up pretty good. Just turned 40,000 miles on her. I've got 2,000 miles left for another service interval, and $500 worth of paint and body repair. Of course, my dad is perhaps one of the most frugal guys in the world, and his thought process is, well, surely we can come up with something to put on that and cover that and hide that and love you, Dad, but no, I'm going to get it done the right way, because I know it's screwed up. $500, yeah. My $500 are a little fewer and farther between since I've got a new mortgage, but I can make it happen. I guess I pray that third shoe, they say bad things happen in threes, that third shoe is to drop is not going to be me dumping her again after I get her fixed. But I'm not a superstitious sort, so it's all for comedic value. Well, that's where I'm at. That's where I've been. But I'm out enjoying the North Georgia countryside, and I'll turn you loose. Holler at you later. This is Marky B. Live long and prosper.